approve resolution number R-0712110-1, approving revision of the City of Cascade Locks charter as recommended by the subcommittee. The City of Cascade Locks placing the question of adoption of the revised charter before the voters of the city for the November 2nd, 2010 general election, approving the ballot title and authorizing the city recorder to certify the ballot title to the county clerk for placement before the voters, and directing the city attorney to prepare an explanatory statement for the voters' pamphlet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I reviewed all the minutes. Of course, I missed the last meeting, but I did go over all the discussion you guys had. And it sounds like there was one final sticking point on the proposed charter that you wanted a little more information on. That was regarding the city and its operation of its electric utility, and whether that should be addressed in our charter or not. And we had you guys direct the attorney to do some homework on what language, if any, should be in our charter with regards to that. He's done that. I think he's prepared to give a quick little report on that. And I think once, if we're done there, then, or if we're comfortable with that, then staff is seeking council approval of this resolution to bring this for the voters in November. So, Bill, I want to just...
Yeah, I can cover that. Mr. Mayor, members of council, we've given you a memorandum dated July 28th. It was written by Cindy Phillips of our office. If you go to the top of page 2 of the staff report, it talks specifically about the utility issues. And our research shows that the original charter of 1936 contained a general grant of authority that was common to home rule charters that provided authorizations to the City of Cascade Locks for ownership and operation of municipal utilities. That general grant of authority is acceptable as a means of authorizing communities to carry out utilities, including electric utilities. That general grant of authority was carried through each of the charters. To make sure that there is no confusion, however, we have recommended a belt and suspenders approach. Namely, you already had language that spoke to the general grant of authority proposed in the 2010 revision. That was sections 4 and 5 under chapter 2 of page 1 of the charter, where it spoke of the city has all powers that the Constitution, statutes, and common laws of the United States and Oregon expressly or impliedly grant or allow the city, as fully as though this charter specifically enumerated each of those powers. And then 5 says the charter will be liberally construed so that the city may exercise fully all powers possible under this charter. So you already have that in the proposed language. We've also suggested the addition of additional language that is on page 8 of the proposed charter, which was in your council packet, section 44, utilities, where in addition to the general grant of authority would be a specific grant, again, belt and suspenders approach that says the city has the power to provide the residents with such services as water, sewer, electric power, cable television, and broadband television, and to charge and collect compensation from the users of such public utility. With that, we have proposed language for a measure, and we have actually modified language to the measure that was in your packet. We wanted to make absolutely sure that the election measure makes reference to the 2008 modification, 2008 amendment, and how you've dealt with that modification. So what I'd like to do is to give you all copies of these materials. I brought 20 copies so that people in the audience can have them too, so everyone has this. And we want to make absolutely sure that if you take action tonight, that you're adopting the language that is in front of you. Kathy has clear authorization, and then proceed to the county elections. We've seen another jurisdiction recently where they adopted language, but the language that was sent to the election office wasn't the correct language, and we want to make sure that if you do want to put this on the ballot, that you have the correct language on the measure.
So, Bill, Mr. Mayor. Bill, is that different than what's in our packet?
Yeah.
What you're about to pass out?
Yes, not the charter language, not the charter.
Just the,
Just the ballot title
okay,
and the notice of receipt of ballot title, which reflects the exact same language as the ballot title.
okay.
So everyone had copies of the language I just read you, section 44. Everyone has that. I have additional copies of that. If you don't have a copy, you want to make sure it's in front of you. People like copy?